Canberra.
Oh my... Oh, bro! No.
It's Canberra.
Oh my days, I can't want to leave.
Next question. What is the world?
It's something I haven't fully thought about in that aspect of retiring my mum and wanting to buy her house. Obviously, I've said that in the last episode. That's my big goal. That's my motivator. That's what I want to achieve.
What drove me when I first started to play football was I always was like teased for being the worst footballer. Then when I had my neighbour move in next door to me, who played for the Central Coast Mariners as a goalkeeper, then it changed. Because guess what? I was better than all of my friends pretty quickly. Then I just realised that I wanted to become the best Nicholas Cradfield that I could. Then I moved to Germany. Then I realised I'm probably closer to the goal than I realised I was. I thought I was quite far away. I then signed with Sydney FC. I then signed with MacArthur Bulls. I then go back to Germany. You know what? I'm a free agent for 6 months. But guess what? I proved myself that I can do it again by signing with a professional team in Germany in the third division. And that narrative that I kept on feeding to myself, it's I can do it. I can do it. And that's actually what kind of drove me. And obviously, since I've come back to Australia, it's changed again.
Do us a quick favor, guys. Hit the follow, subscribe button. Share this with someone who would benefit from it. And help us grow, as the more we grow, the better the episodes we'll get. Thanks, guys, for helping us. And let's get into the episode.
Welcome back to this episode of the SCULPTED podcast, guys. Today, we are back with Liam. And today we are talking about what drives you. So kind of an extension from the last episode that we did with Liam, which was a really good episode, I think. And yeah, we wanted to just go on a little bit more about what actually, quote unquote, drives us. Now, it's going to be an interesting episode. We're going to try a few different things, but going into a bit of a catch up. Liam, tell me what your past week's been like.
I mean, it's been usual, really, just training, getting on with games. Obviously, last time we spoke, I didn't know where I was going to be staying. So currently, if you can see in this camera here, I have my leg up elevated because I had a game yesterday, and my knee and quad is currently very just swollen. I can hardly move it. So, I hope that dies. I hope that dies down over the next 2 days. And I'm ready to go for the weekend. Next weekend, it's only Sunday, so I'm not too bothered right now. But yeah, I found a place which is good at least. I found a place I'm moving into, so that'll be over the Easter break. I can move in there.
Amazing.
And yeah, it's now I know where I'm going to be staying. But yeah, I'm good apart from that. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, right. I mean, firstly, it's good to know that you've got an apartment. Definitely helps. But yeah, to be honest, similar week to yourself. Even similar in the fact that you have an injury that you're nursing. Not a massive injury, but I also jarred my finger. That's why I couldn't clap. So yeah, stupid little inconvenient injuries. But I think, maybe in a few days, hopefully we're both fine. Bit of ice here and there. But yeah, I mean, pretty standard week, to be honest. I think, like yourself, in the season, most weeks are pretty repetitive. It's kind of like, what's the movie Groundhog Day? Kind of like Groundhog Day in season. So that's a massive issue. Yeah, I quite like it. I quite like it. So it works out all right. But what I want to do is I want to get into the general knowledge quiz. Now, I wanted to do this for a few reasons. One, it's a rest day. I can't be thinking too much. Got to get the mind off football to make myself more productive during the week. And then also, general knowledge quizzes are fun. So basically, that's the main reason. So what I'm going to do is I've got the general knowledge quiz up here for Liam and myself, and you guys can also see it whilst you're watching it back. But basically, Liam, the rules are, we'll go through this quiz. The first person to lock in their answer before the answer gets shown. For example, if I read the question and it says you can choose who was the first Prime Minister of Australia, and it says A, B, and C, and I lock in B before you.
Is this an Australian one?
No. This was that was just a random example.
Okay.
But you then, the other person has to choose from A or C because B's already chosen. So the first person to lock their answer in gets that. Okay.
Yep. Sweet.
All right. I'm gonna have to keep a tally. I also forgot to bring my iPad down, so I'm gonna have to write it on my arm. So who wins? Because it's 50 questions. But if that's all good with you, let's get into it, all right?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. You can see my screen now.
Yeah, all good.
All right, sweet.
Welcome to the quiz show.
Oh, that's a little loud.
Here's a super fun quiz
Alright.
to test your general knowledge. We're playing How Smart Are You? Let's
Thomas
get
Edison,
started.
no?
Yeah, but that wasn't a question. I thought
What
it out.
is the capital
Oh,
city of Australia?
Canberra.
oh my! Oh, bro! No!
It's Canberra.
Oh my days, I can't want to leave.
Next question. What is the world's largest mammal?
Hey, oh my days, that's not. Liam, I'm actually lost.
It's a blue
Oh my
whale.
gosh. Liam, you're 2-0.
What was the most streamed song of 2023
Bit.
on Spotify?
You know, it's the
Yeah.
It's Flowers by
Oh,
Miley
2-1.
Cyrus.
Oh my days, I can't believe that still.
And the next question is, what makes
I-
up approximately 80% of our brain's volume?
I'm still out of it, bro. I'm still out of it.
me
It's
having 4
water,
hours
of
sleep, I'm
course.
still winning.
On to question 5. Global warming is caused by the excess of which
Hey,
type
hey.
of gas? Tricky. Carbon
I
dioxide.
said it before you though, didn't I?
Yeah, I'll give that to you.
In which country will you find the ancient pyramids?
B. I
3-3.
In Egypt. Next up, which of these is a prime number?
5. B.
Oh, is it? I don't even know.
I think-
if I'm-
I think so.
No, I just made that up.
Yeah, okay.
It's 5.
I've been to school in 4 years.
What is the largest continent in the world?
B?
Yeah, I think it's B, isn't it? No, I think it's B. I'm locking C though. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Asia.
you're right. 4-4.
What gas do we
Oxygen.
breathe
Hey.
in?
Hey, I couldn't even see that before you said it. You're
No, I didn't see it either. I just knew
It's
there was oxygen, right?
oxygen.
still a
On
delay
to
though.
question 10. How many teeth does the average
C,
adult
B.
have?
You said B.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Oh, we're both
32.
wrong.
Who wrote the Harry Potter
J.K. Rowling.
books?
Hey,
It's
used to love those
J.K.
books as well.
Rowling.
never read one.
Next
Hey,
question
good, you
is,
should.
what is the fastest land animal?
Oh, hey.
Choose that.
It's the cheetah. That one got me thinking. How many millimeters
Monster.
are there in a centimeter?
10.
No, it's frozen.
It's
Oh,
10
it's frozen,
millimeters.
guys.
Next question. What does the acronym SMH stand
What's it?
for?
Oh,
Yeah. I use that one sometimes.
It
Sometimes I use
stands
that.
for shaking
I
my
never
head.
use that.
What really looks like? Hey,
Which country
Yeah.
is known as the land of the rising sun?
10. B.
A. B. Landed the rising sun. What is that?
It's Japan.
It's 5-7 me.
Who discovered electricity?
Hey. Oh, I'll give you that.
Yeah, I'll have that. Yeah, you can have it.
Benjamin Franklin. And the next question is,
Oh, it's the
what
lime
food is the most ordered in America?
B.
Oh, like, hey.
It's fried chicken.
Oh, I guess let's go.
Well, hey.
Which is the hardest
It's 8-6.
substance available on Earth?
Hey.
Hey,
Hmm.
I got that in 3 then. I'll go for.
It's the diamond. Next
I
up,
trained it.
how is the number 1,234
What
annotated
is that?
in Roman numerals?
B.
It's this one.
Damn it. I haven't. Oh, I got it like that.
What collective noun is used for a group of flamingos?
C.
C.
Oh, you got that.
Fun.
No,
Go
it's
A.
A. It's A. I'm gonna go A.
Oh.
I'm going A.
A
you're right.
flamboyance. Next
Flamboyant.
question
It's
is,
8.
the
8.
flag of what European country is this
C.
one?
Oh, bro, I wasn't even looking.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
It's Italy.
9. 8.
What is the largest joint in the human body?
Me. B.
Yeah.
The knee.
Guys, just keep in mind I've only had 4 hours sleep, but
What is the
Anyway.
largest
You still got
planet
camera,
in our
right?
solar system?
Still got Canberra.
Tricky.
9-9.
It's Jupiter.
I got honest. But this is something I always felt in
Next
in
question.
school.
What was the
Yeah, it's
highest
horror. This is
grossing
embarrassing.
movie of 2023?
Hey,
I got that for you.
It was
I'll go
Barbie.
be that. I think it might be Oppenheimer.
Which shape has 8
I
sides?
know what's that.
8-9.
But that movie was horror as well. That was so bad.
I never watched it.
It's an octagon.
Yeah, it's big.
How many hearts does an octopus have?
10-10. 8.
Oh, that's hard. It's
It
C.
has 3.
B.
That's how many tentacles it's got, isn't it?
And the next
Yeah,
question
10 more.
is, how
Okay.
many dots
11, 10
appear
mid.
on a pair of dice?
3. 6. Oh, what?
Oh, A. Yeah, it's got to be A. Okay, I'll go B for good
It's
sake.
42.
Yeah,
That
what was
one
that?
got me
yeah,
thinking.
yeah.
What is the process of a caterpillar changing into a
think it's-
butterfly called?
10-12. B.
I can't answer that question.
It's
Oh, it's
called
8.
metamorphosis.
Oh my god.
Next
We're all
up,
good though. We're back. We're back.
which famous painting was created by Leonardo da Vinci?
Say.
The Mona Lisa, of course.
13-10.
Who did this story?
Question
Night?
30. How many
no clue.
cards are there in a complete pack of cards?
B. You said
I
C.
have that. I'll have B. That's
It's
me.
B.
It's 52.
13-11.
Oh, I got a love Wix.
We don't do brand deals like that, Lee. Come on. No free advertisement.
Which is the most spoken
yeah,
first
because-
language in the world?
English? Oh,
Hmm.
That'd be nice. I think it's Mandarin.
It's
Okay,
Mandarin.
Yeah.
12-13.
What process do plants use to make their own
Hey.
food?
Photosynthesis, but can't see it. It's frozen.
Come on.
It's photosynthesis.
Yes, 14-12.
Did you get that?
Next question
Yeah.
is, which is the largest ocean
Hey,
in the
B,
world?
B, 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 B.
C.
It's the Pacific Ocean.
Uh,
Herbivores do
14-13.
not eat.
I'm winning by 1. 8.
13, yeah.
Meat. They do not eat meat. What is the capital city of Canada?
15-13. Oh, it's 8.
It's
Here.
Ottawa.
8.
Next question.
Yeah, it's not war.
How many years are there in a
17-13.
century?
Thought it was big old Jersey.
Tricky.
B.
100
B.
years.
Yeah, two, it's not.
Goulash is a national dish
Wait,
of
what did you say?
country?
The B. I got that.
Oh, okay. I think you got it before me. Hungary. B. You got the hunger.
It's
Got
Hungary.
my citizenship.
I never know that.
16-14.
What was the first animal in
16,
outer
14.
space?
My pen isn't showing on my skin. 16, 14. C.
B.
It
No.
was a
Oh, B.
dog. And the next
Don't know how to
question
get a dog
is,
to space,
in
but
Greek mythology,
Yeah, facts.
who is the king of the
16,
gods?
15.
B. Oh no, it's a C.
C.
It's C, I think.
Zeus.
Yeah.
C. Yeah, that.
17,
Question
15.
40. How many rings are on the Olympic flag?
5. 8.
I was gonna say 6 anyway.
There are 5 rings. What superhero is Bruce Wayne's
Okay.
alter ego?
18, 15.
C.
C. You got it before me.
It's Batman.
16, 18.
Next up, what is the main ingredient in guacamole?
Tight.
Avocado.
B. Did you get it before
It's
me?
avocado.
I said it. I
That
didn't say
one
that.
got me
I was like, yeah.
thinking. How many items are there in a baker's dozen?
9, 8. Oh,
It's
I think you're right.
13.
Oh.
Next question is,
What?
what
I'm
is the
taking
chemical
stuff.
symbol for gold?
B.
AU. C.
It's AU.
Yeah, you're right. Where's that? I don't know.
Chemistry.
Toilet paper in France is most commonly what color?
A. Oh, it's gonna be something about pink.
C.
Yeah.
It's pink.
What?
What language
It's
is
1619,
spoken in
by the way.
Brazil?
A.
A. Oh yeah, I got that.
Oh, yeah.
It's Portuguese.
Yeah, I don't know.
Next question.
1620.
What is the currency of Japan?
Yen. C.
I want to go to Japan. That was sick.
It's
Japan
yen.
was sick.
Spanish really bad.
Pretty bit.
What color is
No,
the
I
black
haven't.
box on an airplane?
I had exchange students come from me though. Orange. A. A.
What's a black ball?
It's orange.
It's like the thing that records all the data.
What is a
like the
word
thing in my
that
car.
has the
I got one of
same
those in my
or
car.
nearly the same
Oh, right.
meaning as another word?
B.
B. Oh, you got that. I'll go A.
It's a
Sake
synonym.
of getting it. On the other
I didn't even read the question.
Last
Yeah.
question. Bow tie-shaped
Don't take
pasta
very well.
is
Well,
known
so-
by what name?
C.
Tricky.
B. It's not food, is it?
Farfalle. Thank you for watching this
Food
video.
knowledge is coming in clutch,
For more
guys.
quiz
Yeah, I
fun,
was gonna
subscribe
say
to
I
the
think
quiz
that you might
show.
get that because
Bye for
professional
now.
food. Bro, okay, that was 18-21 to me. But I'm not gonna lie, I actually think that I shouldn't win that because that first question, the way I said that with confidence as well, bro, I said that with confidence. And that's actually just so
It's fine. To my pen.
oh goodness me. All right, bro.
Maybe.
Well,
Maybe.
let's get into the episode after that catastrophe from myself. Okay. Going into, actually, did you want to start? We could actually do it the reverse way. I think that we could go it for the what would you do situations first. What do you think about that?
Sure.
All right.
If you could
So
zoom in or read it out, that'd be great. Because I
yeah, I'll
can't
read
see it.
them. I'll read them out because I don't think I can zoom in on Kino. Oh yeah, no, I can. That's all good. All right. So this section, guys, is going to be talking about what would you do in this situation. Oh, not what would you do. Sorry, it's how would you feel about it. So essentially, talking about the drive and what people think of what drives them. Now, I actually don't completely believe in like this so-called inner drive, and I've spoken about it a little bit before, but I want to make a complete episode on it. And I spoke to Liam about this a little bit last time, but going into these situations now, I've done this before in an episode where I went onto Reddit and I found a few different threads of what people say drives them, and yeah, basically, I just want to get a bit of one. I want this to be something that we can do in the future when we have much more of an established audience, so we can ask questions and get to see and answer guests. I mean, answer listeners off English. I couldn't even call myself an Australian today, so my English is suffering. Let's restart that one. So, ask listeners. Yeah, that's right. I'm South Hungarian. I have lived in Hungary, so that does count. But yeah, ask listeners for their questions, and then we answer them. So, but let's get into this one. So, if you grew up poor like me, you know how much a good meal can mean for someone that is hungry. It can bring them to tears. Your cup is full. Now you can, if you so choose, fill others, and the most basic / generic stuff that occurs to me is food. I say this because I also recently broke out of poverty, and now I'm starting to run a little experiment of helping others, and I think that it would be useful and fulfilling because I see my past self and their shortcomings. Now, I think that obviously, I think that Liam and I probably come from a point of privilege compared to typically people who are impoverished or in an extreme case, can't access food. But thinking about that, Liam, if you didn't know where your next meal was coming from, what would you do? How would that actually stimulate you to take action? Do you think that would be a massive drive for you?
Oh, 100%. I think, obviously, we've never both been in that situation where we've not known where our next meal is coming from. I think living on your own, we spoke about this where it's like, obviously, sometimes you're a bit like, you got to realize, okay, I can't go out and eat every meal, or I can't go buy loads of food because I have to save money getting that. So, to balance that. Obviously, I'm not saying we couldn't afford the food and those kinds of things. Obviously, we could because we're here today. But I think that the point of privilege for us would be the fact that when we were younger, we had our parents do that. But going back to your question, I think it would 100% drive me. I know Stephen Bartlett, when Stephen Bartlett was broke and he was living in Plymouth, he used to steal pizzas from the pizza joints, and when he used to have no money, and that used to drive him then to obviously do his business. He used to steal from supermarkets and those kind of things. But I think that's obviously a big part of where theft and stealing comes from, is people not afford things. Obviously, is people just become lazy and just do that out for the sake of doing it. I'm going a different topic there, but that will drive you, because obviously if you see the top succeeding people, I made a reel about this the other day, if you see the top succeeding people, they come from a background of less privilege, of more sacrifices needed to be made to get where they want to be, and to train, to work hard, to build their business, because they wanted to get out of the situation that they were currently in.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that, obviously, as you said, we've never been in that situation where we truly don't know where our next meal is coming from. I think that we've maybe been in situations where we, struggled to get that food or to pay for it. But realistically, as you said, we're still here. We haven't been in that dire of need. It would be silly for us to say that we've been in such a dire state, because there's actually people who don't have the ability to go to the grocery store, ask someone to pay for their meal. We could ask our friend to pay for our meal. That could be covered. But there's people in this world who actually need food to survive. Sorry, everyone needs food to survive, but some people will not be able to access that food all the time. And when it comes to those states of survival, it's a survival mechanism for us to literally do anything we can. So it makes sense that it's such a driving factor. But when you think about it once you're able to afford food, because that can get you so far, right? If your drive for food, which is an inherent drive, stops because you can now afford that food, now you have an abundance of food, I wonder where that next sense of that drive is coming from. I mean, for this person, they said it's now helping others. But for Stephen Bartlett, I wonder what his drive
After helping others, you get that sense of gratification and feel good factor. I know I was speaking to someone here. They go to volunteer in a hospital and those kind of things. They get a really good buzz off of it, or they volunteer at the football club and they get a really good buzz and good social factor off of it. But does it transition into a different drive of when you start seeing money coming in? Is that your motivation? Is that your drive? Because I know for me, when I was making no money and doing my social media and those kind of things, it was a bit of a drive. But then I start making a little bit of money, and it's even more of a drive. Do you know what I mean? Because you see how much, you see the things you can see the money that you make, and you can see, okay, you're still 18, but you're making money online. Off of a business you've created off your back, no help from anyone else, and then you see the money you're bringing in, and you can just keep increasing that number. It's like, why not?
Yeah, 100%. And there's a one that actually talks about how, like, seeing progress can quote unquote motivate someone. And I think what that is, it re-incentivizes you and kind of shifts your perspective a little bit. And when you start to see change, when you start to see progress, you start to rationalize it with yourself and think about how achievable your goals maybe are. And I think that that's what you kind of experienced there, when you start to realize, oh, I can do this for real. You kind of double down on it, All right. So the next one is, for me, I only look to prove myself to myself rather than to impress others. It sounds cliche, but your pride isn't worth much to other people, since you live your life inside your head, inside a dream based on reality. A lot of the time, just trying really hard, even if you don't feel it initially, will get you pumped up. In my opinion, if you don't put your all into something, you'll never really enjoy it. What do you think about that, Liam?
I think that is absolutely right. I think Alex Hormozi said it, where he said that the Queen, he did a tweet where it was about the Queen and how she's amassed the most amount of wealth ever of any person ever. Yet, in 100 years' time, is that going to be remembered? Maybe, obviously, because she was the Queen, but still, if it's someone that's a billionaire and they amass all this wealth, and that, like, no one else is going to care apart from yourself and the stuff you're doing, the work you're putting into things on a daily basis, the training you're doing on a daily basis, the things you're putting into your business on a daily basis, and the hard amount of hours, it has to be something for you that you love and not based off of someone else's opinion. Because when the hard times do come and you have a reason to keep going, no one else is going to be there to support you. No one else is going to be there to care for you. And it has to be yourself wanting to love that thing you're doing and have that driving factor, even if it is even if the money is the driving factor and the motivator. You have to be able to understand and know that no one else is going to help. Even Nick and I are quite close now. Nick will be there to a certain extent, but Nick is more focused about himself. And I'm not saying that in a rude way or
no, it's how it should be as well, right?
On himself, because at the end of the day, everyone is more focused. Yeah, everyone is more focused on what they're doing and their life because they're trying to succeed. It's just a part of human nature, and not everyone is gonna. Let's be real, obviously the Queen's died, but when was the last time you thought about the Queen from when she died?
Yeah, fact. I
mean, right.
I think you make a good point with how I made an episode about this recently. How you care about yourself the most, and actually, that's how it should be. It's not a bad thing, because it's the oxygen mask analogy in the plane, right? You help yourself before you help others. If I was to help you, but I'm broken myself, then I'm not really helping you. And that's the same in like everything. I actually think that that's a good reason, and it's a good thing that we care about ourselves more than the next person. Now, as Liam said, I care about Liam. I try and help Liam. He tries to help me. That's how it should be. But we also I would say that we're very selective with who we do that with, right? I will only do that to a few people, and Liam will only do that to a few people. The rest of them, not to be, too rude, but we're being selective with who we actually give our time to, because we realize that, okay, the reason why I can spend more time with Liam and he can spend more time with me is because we're actually helping each other. And that's where we get that nice mix where, okay, we're both thinking of each other, but at the end of the day, we're helping ourselves get to where we want to be. And as weird as it sounds, just thinking about that in every single relationship, that's how it is. Now, you could argue that some relationships aren't all give and take, but those relationships typically aren't the most healthy ones. There's a reason why Liam and I are so close, is because we're able to give back and we're able to help each other. And I actually think that's a good way of doing it. What do you think about that, Liam?
No, I 100% agree with everything you said there. I don't think you can go around trying to help every single person, because one, they're not going to want helping. At the end of the day, they have to want to be helped, and want to make a change for themselves. But also, two, you can't just go around giving everyone value and things like that, because you're just going to be firstly drained, and secondly just not have enough time to be able to do that and focus on yourself as well.
Yeah 100%. One thing that I thought was interesting about this in particular was prove to myself rather than to impress others. Now, this is different to impressing others for example, a lot of people will say, oh, I'm doing it for myself. I dress nicely for myself. I do this for myself. I think that often is a mask for saying, or it's kind of like an excuse, like, oh, I'm dressing nicely for myself, but realistically, it's actually for others' approval, which sure, maybe inherently is for yourself, but it just sounds nicer saying, no, I'm doing it for myself rather than for it's actually okay to say that I'm doing it for myself. If it is, but you're still keeping those high standards, and yeah, it's a good thing. It's not like maybe you are doing it for yourself, but at the end of the day, you're also doing it for other people, because it's a materialistic factor. It's not like a mental it's not like a mental meditation practice where you're doing that for yourself. Yeah, 100%. And I can give a great example for that in my own life, where I used to say, oh, I'm doing it for myself. I knew I was lying to myself, and I knew that it just sounded better that I was saying, oh, I do it for myself, not the true reason, which is why I was doing it, which was, one, I thought it was cool, and two, I was kind of faking it till I was making it. And you'll probably laugh at this. I shaved my legs because I saw all the footballers doing it, and I was thinking, how can I make myself look like a footballer? I'll just shave my legs. I've been shaving my legs since year 7. Like, that's kind of an embarrassing thing to say. But I used to say, probably up until like year 8, so like a full year and a half probably, I used to say, oh, I just do it for myself. But that's the biggest lie. Like, I knew that I was lying, but I also knew that it just sounded like I was kind of just shifting the accountability onto someone else by saying, oh, I do it for myself. But realistically, no, I was doing it for me because I thought that, one, I looked cool, which means that I was seeking attention. And then also, I just wanted to fit in, kind of. So that's sure for me, but I'm actually doing it for external validation. And I think there's a difference between doing it for yourself and doing it for others' attention, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to the next one. I've pretty much arrived at the conclusion that what you do is all you are. Your intentions, wishes, desires, dreams, and wants all don't matter. We are what we repeatedly do. It's not even limited to the nobility or worthiness of the goal, but how we execute our pursuit of it. Therefore, the action is who you are. That's a very deep one. Hey, how do you?
It sounds like an Instagram caption app. I thought
Fact.
we are what we repeatedly do. I think I've either put that in a caption or it's one of my screensavers on my phone. No, I think I've actually put that on my Instagram, guys. I love that. I love that because the things you're doing day in, day out, whether it's the meditation, whether it's the things you're eating, the training you're doing, whatever, that directly impacts who you want to be and who you want to become. If you're an overweight person and you're starting to then eat healthier and you're starting to go to the gym and exercise, that's a direct correlation between who you are and who you want to become. You're now overweight, but you're now eating healthy, you're going to the gym, focusing on your nutrition. That's then going to impact who you are going to become. A more healthier person, maybe lose some weight, healthier inside, feel better. I think it's 100% correct.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that the biggest thing there probably is your intentions, because everyone can have good intentions, but the actions don't align with the intentions, right? If you're an overweight person and your intention is to get healthy, but you don't take any actions to get healthy, then what does that mean? That means nothing. It's pointless.
Yeah.
All right. Going on to... Okay, this is kind of what I was saying with the progress part. So if I don't see progress in what I'm doing, I stop. Is this why I pursue hobbies hard for a little bit and then move on? Well,
You're not going to swear.
I think... You know me. You know me. I don't swear. No, I catch myself out here and there, but for the sake of getting monetized on YouTube, I also don't want to do it. So, bagman. So I think that seeing progress and measuring progress is a really important thing. Like, for example, the reason why I started the SCULPTED app is because I want to see progress in the things that you can't really track. Whoop is a great example of how you can measure progress and why people use that as a source of accountability. Do you have any moments in your life, Liam, where you would say, other than the making money online, that you saw progress and then it made you kind of double down, or you then stopped seeing progress and then you stopped it completely?
I think I'm kind of opposite in that sense of progress. I don't think for me progress is a massive factor of my if yes and no, because obviously when I do my social media and I see a video viral, I can see progress of whether the video's gone well or whether it's gone bad.
Yeah.
And look, I can double down on that video and I usually know I know exactly what it takes to make a viral video. But one, do those videos impact me? Do I like making them? And do they give any value to my viewer? No. Those videos are usually more the motivational type, where they're a quick, like 5-second video, a quick hit dopamine, you'd be like, oh my God, I love it. It motivates me so much. But look, it's providing you no value. You're seeing a video and just wasting 5 seconds of your life. Whereas if you go to my food videos, do I see an immediate impact back from that? An immediate response in progress of seeing millions of views on those videos? Probably not. And obviously I do see slow progress of gradual increase of followers and likes and those kind of things. But progress isn't
linear.
The number, the number and the scale for me. I don't focus on it too much. I know what I need to do in terms of I know what I need to do in terms of output and what I need to produce to then see progress in the longer term. I'm not like people say, "Oh, I haven't seen progress over the past month or 2 months." Like, I'm not focused on a month's period and 2 months period. I'm more looking in long term frame, and I think that's the way to look at things. Because okay, if you don't see progress over the space of a year and you've been working on something for God knows over a year, hours every single day, and you haven't seen progress, then yeah, maybe it's time to switch it up, know when to quit and move on to the next thing. But I can guarantee you, if you put the hours into something over the space of a year, then you will see progress and see some sort of success in whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah, I like that point. I think you actually made a post from memory that talked about how millionaires think in like decades, and how the most successful people think in long periods of times. And I think that, not to blow our own trumpets here, but I do think that you and I do this quite well. I think that the short-term progress, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, doesn't truly affect us, because we know that if we do it for long enough, we're bound to see some progress that's putting us in the right way. Because we know that most people who don't see progress at some times will probably stop. And we know that if we're just in it for the long run, we'll probably, wipe out most of the competition. And I think a good example is the podcast for me. And for you, it's the football, it's the business, it's all these other things, right? And
the business we're creating at the moment, we've seen a small amount of progress and a little amount of success. But look, if we were to run ads on it and do all these different things and boost it instantly, we would see a massive amount of success. But I think the way we're doing it at the moment, it's going to see success over a long-term period, and it's going to be good.
Yeah, 100%. And that's that patience. I think that a lot of people who probably see the progress continue to do it, and then as soon as they stop seeing progress, I think the way that they frame success is wrong, because they probably see success as a quick thing. But
everyone wants it here and now.
Yeah, exactly. But additionally, I think that it's a lack of patience. You don't trust the process. I think that quite often football can teach you that, because football is a very brutal game. It's not an easy thing to do. Moving overseas by yourself again, it's patience. There's so many things where this long form of framing can really help you. And I think that that's not an easy thing to establish. And I think that because Liam and I both played football, I think that we've got that at quite an early age. I think that comes much later in life for a lot of people. But I also think that having this awareness is putting us in a very good place for anything we do in the future.
Yeah. Should we do one or two more and then move on?
I think so. Let's look at
time. So
yeah. What do you think strikes you on this page?
I mean, again, the other thing that motivates me seeing progress, that's the same as the other one.
Yeah.
What motivates me slow, maybe, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that this one could be interesting. So my opinions and motives in every moment, that's it. If I make the decision to attempt to run for $1 million, I weigh that immediately with my foolish impressions that I'm able-bodied enough to do it. That's that perspective. It's reframing it. Now, I think that it's kind of, it doesn't really answer anything. It doesn't really give a true perspective. It's more talking about the way that you can frame things. So this was in response to a post that I made, giving the example that I quite often refer to. If I offered you $1 million to do a task, for example, I'll give this example where I need you to run 100 meters in under 15 seconds, and you're just the average day person, and I want you to do that. And I'll pay you $1 million to learn and to achieve that. And as soon as you achieve it, I'll give you the $1 million. And it may take you 6 months. It's probably not a very difficult thing to do, but with enough training, you'd probably be able to do it. For most people, I'd say in about 6 months. Now, I go offer that same $1 million and that same task to Elon Musk. He's not going to bat an eyelid at it, because he knows that even if it takes him 2 weeks to dedicate that time to achieve that goal, it's not even worth him doing it, because that $1 million he could have made in a day. So that same incentive, that same perspective is relevant. But also, you could go to a homeless person and offer them that same thing. But guess what? the homeless person isn't even bothered because the way he uses that $1 million, he may have the perspective or the opinion that he doesn't even need money to be successful. My sister, she worked with homeless people. And a lot of the time, the homeless people are actually quite okay with being homeless. They can have the option to go into housing. In Australia, we're very lucky to have that ability to offer houses for the homeless people. But a lot of the time, they're pretty content with being where they are. Do you have any thoughts on that, Liam?
I think it's such a hard one because going back to the homeless, you kind of put me off a bit with the homeless thing. I can't lie.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Hey,
I'm going at it from a different perspective. I think going from a mindset point of view, I think when you have a challenge or something you set out to achieve, personally for myself, I know, look, if there's anything I can do, it's my mind, and I know I can overcome anything with my mind. Whether that's run a 100-meter sprint and train for it, or whether that's run a 100-kilometer ultra marathon, and train for that and be able to complete that. To be fair, that's something I'd actually love to do. Is that
I could see you doing it.
I love that. Just a mindset you'd have to take to do that, like David Goggins type stuff. But I think the mindset for me is just anything I put my mind to, I know I can achieve. Yeah, nothing's too big, and I think that's a good mindset to have because what's that? The cliche saying, you shoot the moon, you land on the stars. Yeah. But, that's literally the mindset I have towards everything I'm doing, really.
Yeah. Now, I think that's an interesting attitude because I think that a lot of people would like to have it, but a lot of people who like to have it also don't actually have it in reality. Now, what I mean by that is the reason why, Liam, you're able to have that, I believe, that mindset is because you've actually done it. Now, kind of what I was saying before as well is you can say these things and want to be these things, but without action. So it's not so. How did you get to that point?
Sorry, can you go? I marked the clip. I already marked it.
Okay, sweet.
Can you just go back to the reason you have that, Liam?
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. All right. So the reason why I think, Liam, you have that attitude is because, well, firstly, so many people would like to have that, but they don't actually do anything with it. And I think that the reason why you've got that is because you've proven to yourself that mindset actually works for you. For example, everything you say that you're going to do, you do it. And it starts as simple as doing the most simple things, right? I saw a direct correlation between what I said and what I did, and then going from those small things to then progressing it to bigger things and bigger things and bigger things. And now I can say something that may be delusional to the next person, but to me, it's pretty normal because I know that when I say something, I do it. But that also means that I'm pretty selective with what I say that I'm going to do, right? If I say to Liam, well, I'm going to have 1 million subscribers on the SCULPTED podcast in 5 years' time, well, okay, if I went all in with it, then I probably could do that. But I also don't know if I should go all in on just the podcast alone because I want to get the app going. I want to do football. I want to do all these other things. So I have to be very selective with what I say, but also believing, and I think that this is what you are saying, is that believing that you can do it is proven. You have a proven track record. What do you think about that?
I think you've just said everything spot on there. I think it's the little tasks. It sounds simple, it sounds stupid. It's the little tasks. Like me here, I've got my journal every single day, the to-do list of my 5 to 10 tasks I write down every single day. Obviously, you get the odd days where you, yesterday, because I had a game, I didn't complete 2 of the tasks. Well, knowing that every day I'm getting those tasks done, whether it's I have to stay up to get them done or wake up early to go training to make sure I get my work done or complete the task, is a big factor to that, and to the mental success of knowing what you can achieve and knowing that you. Sorry, I was looking at that. I need to look better. I think it's a big mental factor of knowing that you have that accountability to yourself. If you say something, you're going to do it. And at the end of the day, if you say something to someone else, that means you're going to do it even more. So you got to spot on there.
Yeah, 100%. Now, going into what drives us. Now, I'd love to know, Liam, we kind of spoke about it a little bit last week, but when we spoke last night, talking about what this episode will be, we spoke about how it can change and what drives you, today will probably not drive you in 6 months, 5 years' time. And what happens once you actually achieve that? For example, for you, Liam, it might be you want to retire your mum, you want to buy her a house. But what happens when you do that? What's going to drive you?
Yeah,
What's that?
it's something I haven't fully thought about in that aspect of retiring my mom and wanting to buy her a house. Obviously, I've said that in the last episode. That's my big goal. That's my motivator. That's what I want to achieve. Thinking about what happens when I do that, I think the perspective then shifts of my motivator, my driver. I think money is a driver for me as well. I'm not ashamed to say that. I think everyone likes to have some money and wants to achieve certain money. And I do agree with the people, even though I'm not at that level yet. When you get to that 100 grand, 200 grand, it doesn't really change your happiness. But the business whole side of it, I think money, business, and obviously football. Football's in it. For me, football's in a different aspect of that, because football is something that has always been my main priority, and it's always been a driving factor, and I always want to see success in it, and it's always a big part.
I think it's a vessel.
It's the biggest part of my life, and that for me is on a side note compared to these things, because that I always know I'm always going to be driven to achieve, whether it's me going through a long-term injury and wanting to come back from it. I know I'm going to come back, and I know that's a driving factor for me. But with this business and social media stuff, I could stop that at any day because I'm not motivated or driven towards want to achieve that. So I think the business whole side of it, I think I've just fallen in love with the process and of the business, and creating different systems, putting different systems in place to want to achieve certain goals, and then seeing money created off the back of that is a driving factor for me. Having as many of those different businesses, and I think you look at the likes of Stephen Bartlett, Alex Hormozy, Chris Williams, and all those types of people that are, funnily enough, all podcasters, but all business people as well. They put all these systems in place, and they're continually creating new businesses and new business opportunities, because they've just fallen in love with that process of investing in different businesses, seeing what works, what fails, and I've loved that as well.
I think what you said there sparked an interesting thought for me, which is when you initially start something off, your drive may be coming from somewhere very short term. So, for example, it may be the money situation. For that person that we gave the example before, as soon as they got their food, they were pretty okay from now on. But the next person who has that same interaction, and they were once hungry, maybe Stephen Bartlett, they were once hungry, now they aren't. Now where do they want to take it? Well, okay, they want to now, that same satisfaction that they got from achieving that drive, because that was apparently their initial drive, that same satisfaction that they got, they now are addicted to the results. And that is their next driving factor, is actually proving to themselves that they can do it again and again. And I think that drive is very fluid. It's always going to move, because I think that as soon as you achieve that drive, that goal, you've got something else now to do. And that quite often, assuming that you're not a very complacent person, is the next thing. I always believe, I don't say I always believe, sorry. I like to say that the grass is always greener on the other side, because I think what that does is it makes me continue to always want more. And I think that there is a degree of where you should probably relax, because always wanting more isn't a good thing. And as you were saying, it's not necessarily a happy place to be. But the satisfaction you get from always wanting more and getting that more is also quite a fruitful thing. But I think it's a fine line, because quite often very wealthy people aren't also very happy.
Yeah, I think going back to what I said last episode about the whole lifestyle current living situation in Australia, for me, you see the people who are just content with what they have. They're happy to go to the beach. They're happy to go to their work, and then live off the money they have, and they don't really care too much about increasing their revenue, increasing the numbers they have. They're happy to just live a basic lifestyle, and they're happy with that. And I love that. Like, they're not worried about trying to achieve the next thing. I think going and you live in a place like London, those places, it switches that factor in you. Yeah, obviously it's still a huge, like 90% of the population that are just happy with their life. But for me, I'm the opposite, where I'm always wanting to achieve more. And I could be just content here living in a house. Look, I'm making more than the average 18-year-old. But I could just be content living what I'm doing, just keeping the same level of output, not increasing anything output-wise, and not increasing any numbers revenue-wise. But is that going to make me happy? I don't think so.
And I think you're in love with the process, right? I think that that because the grass is always greener on the other side, even though it's not realistically. I think having that attitude that there is always more isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think that an over excessive nature of abundance can also hinder us, but I think a good sense of humility is also very important there, because I think there's a lot of famous people who we'd listen to, who I think do it very well. For example, I gave you actually all the podcasters that you just listed there. I think that they're the people who do it very well, because quite often they're grounded. They're quite okay with failure. They're quite okay with an excess, and they do. I'd say they're quite often a force for good. Alex Hormozy is, a very wealthy individual, but you don't see him necessarily flaunting it. He's actually just trying to help others, and I think that that's where that drive can be very fluid and ever changing. I think that's a very similar thing.
So what for you? What drives you then?
Yeah, that's very good question. So when I think about what drives me
in the football aspect, and then also the business aspect.
Yeah. So the thing that drives me football wise, I would say
actually, let me reframe that: football and health, and then business aspect.
Okay. Yeah. So what drove me when I first started to play football was I always was like teased for being the worst footballer in like my friend group, essentially. Then when I had my neighbor move in next door to me, who played for the Central Coast Mariners as a goalkeeper, who Liam literally versed on the weekend, which is coincidentally. So that is what made me start playing football, because my neighbor moved in next door to me. I was the bad footballer at school. And I'm like, oh, this is my chance. I'm cool all of a sudden because my neighbor's a professional footballer. That's why I originally started. Then it changed, because guess what? I was better than all of my friends pretty quickly. Then I just realized that I wanted to become the best Nicholas Cradfield that I could. Then I moved to Germany. Then I realized I'm probably closer to the goal than I realized I was. I thought I was quite far away. I then signed with Sydney FC. I then signed with MacArthur Bulls. I then go back to Germany. You know what? I'm a free agent for 6 months, but guess what? I proved myself that I can do it again by signing with a professional team in Germany in the third division. And that narrative that I kept on feeding to myself, it's I can do it. I can do it. And that's actually what kind of drove me. And obviously, since I've come back to Australia, it's changed again, because it's now I'm kind of shifting away from football just being a vessel. I've kind of spoken about how, for me, football is a vessel for becoming the best version of myself. I see that as a very transferable thing, whether it's I play golf, whether I play rugby, whether I'm a gymnast, whatever that is. I think that that's just a vessel to help me become the best version of myself. So for me, the football thing has changed. It's now just a vessel to help me become the best version of myself, because football's teaching me all these valuable lessons. I don't see football as my one true love, my passion. Football's just a vessel to help me become the best version of myself. And now what drives me to become the best version of myself is pretty deep. I'd say that I feel like I have an inherent duty to do the most I can. I feel like, I'm put on this earth to actually do something. I think that a lot of people who are lazy, people who are gluttonous, people who are, they take their time for advantage. I think that those people don't value their days. I value my time a lot.
I like that. I like that a lot. The time thing is people, especially today, people just scrolling social media for hours. I mean, Nick does it on a Sunday on his rest day for 2 hours.
On a Sunday.
Oh my! People are doing it for 5 hours, 5+ hours every single day, every single night. They're sitting there after they get home from work or from school or whatever it is, and they're sitting there all night just draining their brains and just literally wasting their life, just scrolling on TikTok. And yes, it's an addicting dopamine hit, but it's at the same time, like what you actually do with your life. You get
Where does that
get your you're getting one life, and you're scrolling on social media from when you had dinner with your family, maybe at like 6, 7 p.m. until like 2 a.m. in the morning. Like,
it's not a good place to be. Like, it's like you can understand why it happens. I've fallen victim to it before when I first didn't have these disciplines in place, and I understand why.
to be honest.
But at the physical and evolutionary level, I mean, it's dopamine. It's free dopamine. That's why you can get addicted. I don't understand why you do that.
It's hard though, because it's a mindset. Like, it's a money mindset as well. I was who it was, but I was used to be close to someone who used to do that, and they'd be up all night doing that. And then also they used to be at uni, so they would get a loan from the uni to be able to spend money, be able to live, be able to buy food, those kind of things. And they're like, oh, I've just been given this loan from the uni. Like, oh, I'm just like, I've got the money now. I can just go buy things from TikTok shop, go buy from the store, go buy new gym gear. I can go do this. And I'm saying to her, I'm like, that's not your money though. Why would you wait?
Still paying for it in the future.
You still have to pay for that back. So why are you going to then just go spend that for the sake of spending it because you so-called got it when it's actually a loan? It's just a mindset and education behind that people are missing. And it's, I mean, that kind of, that it pissed me off a bit. That, to be honest, when I was in that situation, I was thinking to myself, right, okay, like there must be a lot of other people out there in this world that are thinking like that.
Yeah, I completely agree. The dissociation of that, your actions now have consequences in the future, and what that does, it forms a delayed offset of your consequences actually affecting you in the future. And a lot of people, and I understand why there's that dissociation, but if you're aware enough to understand that your consequences now will have your actions now will have consequences in the future. But also on the flip side, your actions now will have positive consequences in the future. Consequences is just a result of actions. Consequences doesn't have to be bad. Yeah. So you could be doing that. You could be investing that money. You could be using that money in a positive way rather than to hinder you and pull you back. I think it's that mindset that you're talking about.
I do think it's a good place to put this episode on hold though, and continue it on the next one.
That's a good call, actually.
For you guys, obviously you got meetings going to, but for you guys who do want to see us talk about something else and a different topic similar to this, feel free to let us know in the comments.
Yes,
that are watching, and we can hopefully go into that in the next episode as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think that we definitely got into some deep things that I like to talk about, and I think you're right, because I do have a meeting next. We do have to call it there, but let us know, guys. I hope that you enjoyed that. I think it was a bit of a fun one today when we started off. I still can't believe I got Sydney wrong. That's so embarrassing. I can't be in this. I think Australia should take my citizenship off me, bro. That's horrible. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for listening.